She is a friend of mine. She gather me, man. The pieces I am, she gather them and give them back to me all in the right order. It is good, you know, when you have a woman who is a friend of your mind. Toni Morrison.
Thank you for tuning in to Three Queens and Things, a space where queens connect. Our podcast will be bringing you the latest and greatest on topics of self-love and womanhood.
Before we dive into today's topic, what about your friends? We think it's important to share a bit of information about ourselves. So I'll start it off. My name is Mimi. I am from San Bernardino, California, that I.e. I would describe myself as caring, very ambitious, and witty. Yeah. What about you?
I'm Ati. I'm originally from Rochester, New York. I've grown up in Las Vegas. I've been here pretty much all of my life. I would say 3 words to describe me. 1 being ambitious. I definitely set my sights on things and I just kind of go for it. The 2nd being caring. I will do anything for the people that I love, family and friends. And lastly, I would say adventurous. I love taking on I love traveling. I just love new experiences, learning about different cultures. There's so much to learn. I'm always trying to figure out something new to take on.
Cool. Well, my name is Sola, and I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I moved to Las Vegas about 3 years ago. In terms of describing myself, I would say I'm bold, optimistic, and very spiritual. I think, everything in life happens for a reason, so to take those chances, to align those things to happen appropriately in my life and others' lives is what I'm all about. So in terms of us starting this project, you guys, we are starting our first podcast. How do we feel about that?
Woo! So excited!
I'm really excited.
So I think, starting this project for me was very important because it provided the opportunity to empower not only myself to follow some of my goals and some recommendations from my friends, but also to empower others. I think, when I think of our podcast, I'm thinking of to have like a conversation with your girlfriends, talking about what's going on in life, different things that come up. And I think that for those who don't have that, this is your place. And for those who have it, this is your place too, so you can bring it back to your sister circles.
Dope.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, I took on this project because, like I said, I'm very passionate about building up other women. I feel like we don't hear positive things enough from other women and constantly getting beat up and comparing ourselves from things we see on social media. Mm-hmm. So there needs to be something that you can listen to just uplift you and, make you feel good. We're here to tell you how great y'all are. Women, y'all dope.
Okay. And not to mention, we're going to tell you when stupid is stupid.
Ooh, that's what Mimi gonna do.
Don't be afraid to tell somebody when they're being stupid, especially yourself. Or, you need to make better choices. So
I think that brings it back to our topic today. I think, when starting the podcast, we've been intentional about spending time with each other so we can connect and learn, more about each other in our own journeys. But I think one thing that has come up in almost all of our conversations is the topic of friendship. And I think, we could start off by talking about something crazy, which we will get to crazy. But I think it's also important that we start off with our foundation. And as 3 women here, we need to talk about friendship. Some of us, I just met Mimi, couple months ago.
2 months ago.
I've known Atian for about 3 years, so none of us have been each other.
We're fairly new friends.
Yeah, we're fairly new friends. So I think exploring this with each other and kind of our own history is going to be important for setting the tone for the podcast, so you guys understand where we're coming from.
Yeah, it's important. I will say, even though we're a couple years in with you to being friends, and me and Mimi, we've gone back to high school, but we were never really friends like that. So when we came together and decided to do this podcast together, it's kind of natural. Like, our first interaction with each other was dope. Like, we all kind of clicked, and even though we have different views, we still really see, we're still click, and we're able to come together. And
I've been, over emotional, with you guys, y'all are so dope, oh my God, because I don't have friends like that. I don't have women that I share information with or, pretty much on the same wavelength as me. So, oh my God, this really exists. Y'all are so dope. Thank you.
No, that's right. I think that was one of the things from our first time we sat together down at Blue Martini, and we just kicked it and talked for hours. But that's one thing that stood out to me is that I have very solid friendships and I have multiple lines of friendships. So I think it's an interesting perspective when we talk about things that's a part of where I'm coming from and kind of the expectations around friends and kind of what does friendship even look like, especially between women. Like I've grown up seeing those friendships. My mom, my grandma, they all had friendship circles. My grandma still go to lunch and movies with her friends. So that's just an expectation I grew up around. So the older I get, especially once I moved to Las Vegas, I really realized that a lot of women don't have that, and I'm truly blessed to have that, but need to share those experiences and that opportunity with other women, because when we gather, we do great things. We do great things individually, but it's exponential when we gather to do those things.
Yeah, for sure. My experience is different. I don't have a lot of close friends, and I feel like I'm constantly building relationships or close friendships with different people and different women, and it just never really lasts. I don't have any long lasting friendships, and I didn't really see my mom like growing up have like a lot of friends either that stayed around. She had family, before we moved here from New York. I had my aunts and stuff that my mom would always spend time with, but when we moved to Las Vegas, she didn't really have too many women that she kept around, that she would just go out and have like a sister circle kind of situation. So I don't really know. I'm not gonna say I don't value friendship, but I just kind of expect people to come and go, and that's kind of how I always treated friendship, and I wish I could be more open to building long-lasting relationships. I just don't know how, I guess.
Well, I pretty much grew up the opposite from the Sola, and kind of the opposite of IT. I didn't really have a lot of friends. Like my mother didn't really have friends like that. The friends that she did have they were on a whole nother level, just doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing. So I didn't really have that example to follow as a kid. So, but when I grew up, like in high school, like I've been done wrong early on by other women. So I've been shielded, I've been guarded. I never had that woman, that solid friendship. So, I don't know where to even begin. I don't have those tools.
Yeah. So I guess that's where I think when we had pieces of this conversation before, what is that? Like, what are your expectations of friends? Because I think that really probably defines how we have our friendships and how many friendships you count as friendship or how many connections you count as friendship. So like, what are those expectations of friends? Like, do you have like a list like, oh, she do that, she gone, or like, oh, this is really what it really means to be a friend? Like, do you have those things?
I'm not really sure if I have like a list of those things, but it's interesting because we sent out today those text messages to a couple of our friends and just kind of asked them. So just kind of a backstory in preparation for this episode, we sent a couple of text messages out to a couple of women that we consider to be close friends, and just to get a response and say, what do you think friendship means? Like, how do you describe me as a friend? What are some of my strengths? What are some of my weaknesses? And something in common that I got back in response is that I'm not consistent. Like I'm very close to people for a certain amount of months or whatever, and then I'm very withdrawn. So people find me to be very withdrawn, but I don't know if it's like a defense mechanism. I'm not really, like I said, open to people, and it's kind of on purpose. I do that on purpose.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I've told you, like, I can't really read you sometimes. Like, she mad, she got an attitude. Did I do something to her? Did I say the wrong thing? I know I had a big old mouth, but damn.
I don't know.
She ain't got no big old mouth.
But that's something that pretty much every friend sent back to me, saying that they wish that I will open up a little bit more. And like I said, people have always come and gone, and I just let them go. And I just don't expect anybody. So I said all that to say I don't have any expectations for anybody, because I don't expect anybody to stay longer than maybe 2 years. And during that 2-year time, they're only going to be around, maybe like a month, and we kind of take our time off. And so it's okay.
But is it really okay? Because I think I have the similar things. Like, I have friendships that like are there for a period of time, and I'm the same way. Like, I'm not a person. I think loyalty is a word that you will rarely ever hear me use, because it's just not something I look for, because I think that word gets misused a lot. But I think it's interesting to hear you say that, because I move, I'm fluid. I'm probably that person that people might say like, oh, we ain't seen you in a minute, but that doesn't mean that friendship is lost. Right. I just believe that, sometimes we need to be in each other's physical life or in that spiritual, intensely in that space for whatever purpose that's serving, and when that purpose is over, and it can move on. But I have expectations. Like, I expect to be respected in a relationship, but I have expectations to set that clear definition. So
Of course.
I can say respect it, but that can mean something totally different to me. Like I think we've talked about this before. When I don't like the golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated. I really feel that you should treat people how they want to be treated, and that requires you to get to know a person.
Right.
That requires you to have some difficult conversations. That requires you to be in uncomfortable spaces. But that's what, to me, friendship is about. If I can't talk to you about the nitty gritty and I can't count on you to celebrate, then maybe we're not friends, and that's cool too. But I do give space for people to be themselves. I do give space for us to all grow, because there's going to be times when I'm inconsistent. There's going to be times where you're going to choose you over me, and that is a-okay with me. I'm not looking for like a hard deadline of like, you have to complete this, you have to be this way. I think I've always just naturally had those relationships too, so maybe it's not something that I'm even aware of what exactly is included in that process.
The only thing I've ever been able to count on from my friends is to be around when things are good. Like a couple months ago, I went through a really life-changing experience, and I would say I can count maybe 2 or 3 friends that checked on me during this time, and everybody else was just kind of like, you know, they knew what was going on, but it just, you know, it wasn't, I was kind of down at that time, and I wasn't like myself really, and that just really showed me like people are just really about themselves. I know who to call when I want to go out. I feel like that's what a majority of my friends are. I call them friends because I can call them, I can depend on them to go out.
But do you think that has anything to do with you being closed off?
No, because
How not?
Because the people that I told what I was going through, I mean, whether I'm close with you or not, this is something that you should be like, if this is my friend, I need to be here for her through this.
Well, maybe everybody's not used to being that type of friend. Maybe some people's definition of friendship are different. Like, I have friends that if I was expecting them all to react to certain things the same way, I'd always be disappointed. Because I've learned that that's not how that person acts. Like, just with different things, and like learning how some people are scared of conflict. Some people don't know how to console people. Some people get anxiety around that. And so I can't have those expectations to look the same through all of my friends. Like, if I go through something, I go through something. But to me, that doesn't mean if somebody's not calling me or picking me up, then that doesn't mean that they love me any less or that they're not my friend. That just means that they may have a different way that they communicate, and they may not have understood the importance. So I think it's different when you explain, like, I'm going through this life-changing process as I need this. Because I think a part of the friendship is that we have these expectations about what people are supposed to give us, but we don't make it clear about what we need. So as a friend, if I'm going through this, because I'm not a friend that needs you to call, I wouldn't think anything twice about that. Like, oh yeah, it's nice. I would appreciate those that did, but if you didn't, I wouldn't think that, oh, you ain't really fooling with me.
Right. No, I get it.
Well, I'm that friend that I'm the opposite of what you said. I need you to give me the same energy that I give you. So if I'm celebratory of you and whatever you're doing in life, and I have great advice to offer, and I'm supportive, I need you to reciprocate that to me. Now, if you're not doing that, I'm done. I don't have time, because that's what I need. If you're not giving me what I need, I can't participate in this friendship anymore.
Right. I would kind of agree with that. I'm just saying, I'm quick to walk away from people and situations, and like I said, kind of playing off of what you said, like, I expect the same in return. I feel I learned about myself early on that there's no in between with me. Either I don't care at all, or I care all the way. And when I started learning that people don't show the same kind of love that I show them, I think that's when I started to be intentionally detached. You know what I mean? And I've been that way, I would say, all of my adult life.
So then how am I ever supposed to know you to be a friend to you? Like, if I don't know who you truly are because you're detached and you're not showing me all of that, then I don't know. Because if it sounds like you're getting the feedback that you're inconsistent, but that's probably because you're being detached in certain ways. So how would they even know that, like, oh, she thinks of me as a friend enough that I should be doing these things? I should be giving her a call when she's doing these.
Well, what I'm saying is it should be reciprocated. I'm always there for people when they're when they're celebrating something, when they're going through something, when just in general, I'm always checking on people, whether I speak to you on a daily basis or not. Or like I said, if I'm going through
like you just said, you just went through something. So if your friend's not checking on you, that's not a friend to me. Like, I need you right now.
Even if I'm detached, like, if I hear that you're going through something, I'm gonna reach out, and it just it's never been reciprocated. I'll just say that it's never
ever.
Ever.
That's crazy.
See.
That's why I don't fool.
I
don't have friends. I don't. Like,
example of that, I was telling y'all, like, I felt like for my birthday coming up, and maybe I'm being a brat. I am a little bit of a brat sometimes. Yeah. However, my birthday is coming up.
Yeah.
And
we love you.
Showed up and showed out for everybody's stuff all year long. I've taken off days from work, unpaid days from work to go on people's celebratory trips. I've taken off days from work for people's birthdays. I've just made a point to be there for everybody's everything.
Because that's a priority for you.
I do that because
but you want it to be reciprocated.
Exactly.
So when you're showing somebody, hey, I'm treating you this way,
and I'm not doing it for them to.
You know,
but
exactly.
you are. But you got to be honest. You are.
I'm not. I just feel like as a friend, when it's time for me to celebrate, everybody's like got a reason why they can't, and it's always been that way. For my birthday, for the past I don't know how many years, I haven't really been looking forward to it because I'm just like, here we go. Now I got to see if I'm going to try to coordinate with this person and see if they can. Even though I just last week did something for you or celebrated with you for something that you were so excited about. And now I'm excited for something. And it's just like, well, I'll see what I can do. And it's always been that way. I mean, for my birthday for at least the past 5 years, I can remember. And it is what it is. That's why it's like,
this is where things get this is why things get all jumbled, because you can't say that this is something important to you, but then say it is what it is, because then as a friend, what that gives me is that you really don't care.
Basically, I mean, why would
So then why would I care? If you're not making it clear to say, hey guys, my birthday is this time, this is exactly what we're doing.
How many years am I supposed to do this?
Say, look, I was here for you. You need to be here for me. As a friend, you're supposed to be tuned in to these relationships. If you're not tuned in, if you're not woke in this relationship, then what are we doing here?
But it sounds like there's not an expectation to be woke. It just sounds like there's an expectation for me to do what I do because that's what I believe is a good friend. But we've never even had a conversation together about what being friends is. Like I can't expect something from Atian and expect the same thing from Mimi, because you are two different people. If I'm looking for you to show me this in the same way, like, it's not going to be the same thing. That's where I stand with it.
I disagree.
I think a lot of people disagree with me, but that's cool. That's cool. This is just what I've experienced in my life. And this is what works for me. Like, it doesn't work for me to do that. When I do something, that's me doing it. If I show up to your birthday, that's because that's how I would like to celebrate you. There's people that don't come through, like, that happens, but is that a personal attack against me or that friendship? No, there may be some other things going on in that friendship that may cause me to reevaluate what's going on. Because I'm not to say that, some of the people probably ain't your friends, like, that's probably what it is. But at the same time, like, if I don't think you're making a priority of your birthday and you're not making it clear and you're putting so much weight on what other people want to do, I'm not going to make it a priority because it doesn't seem like you are.
Well, absolutely not. At this point, and that's what I said, I made a point this year to do what I want to do. I'm doing it solo because I can't depend on anybody to do. Well, I shouldn't say that. Part of my birthday is dedicated to me trying to get together with my friends. So the beginning part of my birthday, I am going to do something with everybody. But the main part of what I was trying to coordinate to get everybody together for, I'm just going to do it solo. And I'm not. It's not that I don't want to keep pushing something on people that they clearly don't want to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just going to just brush it off and count it for what it is. Like, it's what it is. So, kind of going back to the research that we did prior to this episode, what kind of feedback did y'all ladies get? And do you agree with what your friends had to say for the most part?
I didn't get any. I got a call, but but that just goes to
she
show
ain't
you
answer.
that, like, I don't really have, friends like that, and I really don't, and I'm okay with it. Like, to me, the word friends come with ends. They cost money, they cost you time, and it's something I don't have time for. If you're not about what I'm about right now in this moment in life, then I can't deal with you. Well, I'll catch you on the flip side.
Well, on a positive note, I really do think that friendships can be a struggle for everybody, and I think friendships are very intimate, so I believe you have to figure out what that looks like and what that is for you and your friends. But for me and mine, we good over here.
You have a lot of, I don't know if you have a lot of friends, but your friends that I did meet, they're really dope, and I can see why they're your friends. The lady at the, when we volunteered, her mother,
my best friend,
and your best friend,
mm-hmm.
they're dope.
Yeah. No, my friends are super dope, and a lot of my friends don't live here because I'm not from here, so I kind of have people spread all over. But I got a lot of great feedback. But that's something that I think, but that's also something that I build with my friends. Is I ask them questions. I do things like these little surveys all the time. That probably one of my friends was like, I can count on you to always give me some homework.
Right.
So that's just kind of, I think it feeds off of my personality, but really the feedback that I got was that I'm a protector. I like to celebrate, but I also like to have those difficult conversations. So I think that was a theme across everybody's feedback, was that, I'm here to be down and go to the party, but I'm also here to let, to have those reflective conversations and provide any tools or resources that I have for you to be able to better yourself.
That's what I was going to ask next. So one thing I kind of got too was that I'm not afraid to deliver difficult messages. And I take pride in that. I think that sometimes we can be a little bit scared or uncomfortable to tell our friends, like, you fucking up. You gotta do better. Like, I didn't know you could be doing better. So one thing that my friends did say is that they appreciate that about me, and they know they can come to me with something that they need to hear the truth about, and they can always count on me to give them the real answer, like either you can do better, or no, this is maybe what we can do to fix the situation or whatever. So I think that was dope.
Yeah, I think that's important to be able to deliver those difficult messages. But I think the other space that's important is for a lot of people to have their journey. I think sometimes with friendships, like if you don't agree with somebody, you feel like you can't be friends with them. And that's been something that I think has come up over for me in the last couple of years, is really learning how to manage that. Like, I might not agree with my friends' decisions, but as a friend, that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to agree with what you do. My life is different. You've had different background. You're going through different things currently. So I think it's really important to allow your friend to be your friend, and like also know your friend. Like, I have a friend, I'll invite her to something, but I know 9 times out of 10 she's not going to show up, and that has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? So I can't, if I was sitting here like, well, I come to your stuff because I love you, and that's how I like to express that. But I understand there are other things that are going on for preventing her from being there. But is she any less of a friend to me? Hell no. Like, that's my homie. I know I can count on her when I need to call her with anything. I can, but showing up just ain't her thing.
Right.
Like that meme that was going around like last week. Like, I just want friends that's gonna invite me somewhere, but they know
I ain't gonna come.
Yeah.
Just know
but
I'm
I think
not
it's
gonna be
beyond
there.
that though. Like, I think some of that is sometimes you do got to get up out the bed and come.
Right.
Yeah.
Every
Some
now
of
and
that-
then, at least.
And sometimes if you have a friend that's their love language is you being there, then you're gonna have to figure that balance out. But
Right.
that's the thing, is I don't think, if you ask me about the state of friendships amongst Black women, I don't think we take enough time to learn about each other. I don't think we're intentional with our friendships, which allow us to be like, okay, well, she gonna do whatever she wanna do, bye. But it's like, that's why I think I prefer to use the term sister circles. Like, sisters get in fights, sisters fall out, sisters, but they're still connected. And so that's something that I appreciate, and I try to use that language a little bit more, because I'm not gonna agree with my sisters all the time. They're gonna do some foul. Sometimes they're gonna do some foul stuff, and sometimes that's their learning process, and sometimes that learning process needs me to back up out the way, but I still need to allow them to be themselves.
It's interesting you say that, because just speaking to other, in particular Black women, they have issues. It's not just me. I thought it was just me having issues building friendships, but there's a lot of women that
we have issues.
Do have issues building friendships, especially in our age that we're at now, like mid-20s. Like, it's hard to make friends,
especially
and maintain
in Las
friends.
Vegas. That's one thing. Like, where I'm from in Minnesota, I think, I'm just not to say whoop whoop Minnesota, but because I think there it doesn't exactly matter where you are. But one thing that has startled me has been, I've met so many women who don't have relationships with any other women. And that's weird to me. Like, that's weird to me. Like, I look at my best friend's mom, like I look at my, my cousin's mom, like I see I've seen those relationships growing up. So here, I think there's really a message to kind of be with your man, be whatever, be out in the club. I don't know what the message is, but it's not to cultivate those female friendships that I think are essential. Everybody doesn't think they're essential, which is okay, because that's their journey. But I've seen that change happened for me coming to Las Vegas.
Maybe it's because you're open. Maybe you attract certain energy to you because you're so like, let's be friends.
Let's be friends. But you know what? That's crazy, because I get feedback that I'm standoffish when people first meet me.
Really?
I don't remember you being standoffish.
Yeah, you told me that before, so don't try to retract
I first
statements.
met you?
Yeah, when people first meet me,
I didn't get that
they
at
think that.
all.
What? Well,
Maybe it was
I've grown up a little bit. I've grown up and realized some things about myself.
I mean,
and
no,
how I'm perceived,
I recognize that, and like I said, it's become normal to me. So I guess from your point of view, like you were saying, like you've seen like your best friend's mom, and you've seen other like older women have like close friends and stuff.
My whole life.
And I haven't seen that, and especially because I've grown up out here, it's just become normal to me. Like I said, it just how people come and go. So your norm is like seeing people have strong relationships.
Yeah,
or
even when they
friendships.
fall out, like there's somebody, my grandma my mom, somebody done fell out for years, and I go home and where you? Oh, or call them, they're like, oh, I'm about to go out with lunch with so and so, and it's not fake. I think that's the thing is that we've gotten this message that you can't be fake. You can't be falling out with somebody and growing up and realizing and you know, being with one another eventually or having those conversations. That's not fake.
Right.
That's like you growing up. Okay. That's people being people. People making mistakes. You know what I mean? Like I've fallen out with a whole bunch of people, and it's never been like, oh, we cursing each other out. It's just like, okay, the space is up right now. It's not our time. Right. I love you always, but
stay away from me right now.
And not these people. Sometimes just stay away from me. Sometimes there's people who I haven't rekindled those relationships with, and that's cool too. But I think we just have this image that everything has to be so this and so that. People are going to fuck up. People are going to fail from your expectations. They're not always going to rise to that, but that doesn't make them any less of capable of being your friend. In my perspective, that's how I feel.
No, I had to look at myself, because I'm like, for me to not have any, I guess meeting you and seeing like how much you value friendship, and then me not having any close friends, like after I met you, it really made me reflect, like, am I pushing people away that much? And I had to like really do like a little self-reflection, and I had to consider,
get your journals
like,
out, y'all. I'm fans of journals. If you don't have one, here's the plug to go out to the store and get you one.
They be on sale at Hobby Lobby. I really got me one. No, but I had to do a little self-reflection, and I did. I do realize, like I said, I'm intentionally detached, because, like I said, people come and go. However, one thing I did notice too is that I don't communicate well. And that's just what it is. Like,
no, we gonna cut this. It what it is. This is an opportunity.
This is a quality that I have.
I'm gonna work on this.
Oh, Lord.
Because as your friend, I can't sit here and tell you I'm bad at communication.
Sola
is too
fixed
vital.
My life.
It's too vital in so many aspects of your life for us to be bad communicators and be like, well, it is what it is. I'm not gonna.
I'm not.
No.
I feel okay. This is my position. This is why I say I'm a bad communicator, because I will really never speak to somebody again and never really tell them why I won't speak to them again.
I'm that way.
In my mind, it should be known. You know, the last conversation we had, or the last interaction we had, if it didn't go well, it should be pretty much implied why I'm not talking to you. So I never feel like I'm not about to go out of my way and to tell you what you know you fucked up on. Like, I'm not.
But what if they don't know what they fucked up on?
I find it hard to. It takes, and like I said, the kind of person that I am, either I care a lot or I don't care at all. So if it had to be something.
I live on a spectrum.
Well, I'm very black and white, and I was told that today in one of my feedbacks. It was, one of your weaknesses is you don't communicate. You will just never speak to somebody again, and I've done that to somebody before that I made up with, and we're cool now. But she's like, you know what? I felt like in the last disagreement or something that we had, like, I just felt like it was a disagreement, and you really just like,
yeah, you terminated a friendship.
And I didn't feel like it was that serious, and I felt like it could have been something that could have been talked out, and it never was until like months and months later. So I feel like you should at least give me the chance to speak my part as to why that situation happened the way it did. And I don't really care to hear an explanation. All I know is I didn't like the way that what you said to me made me feel, and I'm never gonna open myself up to you doing that to me again.
We gotta be vulnerable, y'all.
Never vulnerable.
Get the snaps going. Vulnerable.
A really good friend, and I went through something with my marriage, and I'm not a vocal person. I don't speak about what's going on between me and him or whatever. So I went through that, and I was really, really closed off. I didn't communicate with her, and however, she reached out to me. She has a child, and she said, hey, you know, come on to my daughter's birthday party. I showed up, gift in hand, like I always do every year. Showed up. And then a day to the week after that, I got a call from her, and she was telling me the first thing out of her mouth was that I feel like you've been a bad friend. Like, how do you feel like I've been a bad friend when I've been here? Yes, I don't talk about my problems, and I don't like putting my troubles on other people. However, I feel like I've been a really good friend. I'm here when you need me. If you call me, I pick up the phone. If I'm not available, I'll call you back. So on and so forth. So the conversation ended at that. We didn't talk for, I want to say, a good year. We met up, had a conversation, cried it out. But I felt like our friendship it wasn't the same after that.
And that's okay.
And
that's A-okay.
And
you're growing, we're changing.
Felt forced after that, and I couldn't believe, my feelings were hurt because I can't believe that my friend would call me instead of saying, hey, are you okay? Is everything all right? Is there anything I can do? But the first thing out of her mouth was, I feel like you're a bad friend. Like, how dare you? When I went out my way, I'm
See, shit
there
like that
for
don't
you.
hurt my feelings.
Like,
If you
and
think
I
I'm a
just-
bad friend, don't call me
Like,
no more.
and I was just done. Like, I have so much love for this person. I always will. If they call me, if they needed me, I'm still there. But for us to have an exchange, like an ongoing, I can't do it because I don't need somebody to feel like because I'm going through something I may be closed off to you, that you feel the need to tell me you've been a bad friend instead of checking on me. You're supposed to check on me and find out if
well,
I'm
what
okay.
if she's saying you're supposed to let me know what's going on? Like that, we could play that game all day. It's like just when you withdrew, she felt that you were withdrawing for her, and she was sensitive about that.
I don't like how she came at me, so we just left it at that.
My thing is, there is way too
See.
much going on in each of our lives for me to be trying to chase you down to figure out what's wrong with you, why
I don't
you
think
acting the
that's
way
a
you
chase
are.
down. I think that we all have to have what type of relationships are good for us, and so some of that, I think that sounds different for all of us sitting here. Is that it's really about defining what friendship means to you, defining what that not only what it means to you, but what it looks like. What are those exchanges? And it sounds awkward talking about, oh well, if I show up, then you should show up. You should automatically listen. Common sense ain't so common.
Right.
Experiences. We
That's
all have
true.
different journeys. Some people might have been cursed out for doing the same exact thing you want them to do. So to me, the best way to respect yourself, let alone respect them, is to create that space to be open about what that looks like. Then if that line is crossed, if that boundary is there, then it's like, well, we talked about this. And now we can walk away. We understand, but I think, I think we've had a really good conversation about friendships and highlighted some things. So we definitely want to make sure that we got to find a way to keep everybody in the conversation on Facebook, on Instagram, on something.
Y'all gotta add
Yeah.
Queens and Things on Instagram.
Join the conversation. Let us know what your experience
and
was.
Things.
Yeah.
So definitely ask us questions. Hit our inbox, 3queensandthings@gmail.com, and let's keep it going.
Yeah, because I think it's important to let this be an evolving conversation because that looks different for everybody. There's some people. I'm wondering, does anybody have friendships like the Sola has? Because
No, I was about to ask you in conclusion, what makes your best friend so great? Like what? No, I'm just wondering, like,
What is so good about
your friend?
No, like you hyping your friends because we haven't had the same positive
Right.
experience. I'm just wondering, like, what made you feel so like your friends are just so dope, especially so like your best friend you said that lives in Minneapolis. You said that that's hard to maintain a friendship.
Yeah, she lives in North Carolina. Shout out to her. Shout out to all my best friends. We got people in Africa. We got people
She
everywhere.
said all her best friends.
All of them. All
I
of
got
them.
like 3 people
All
I
of
kind
them.
of call friends sometimes. I don't even.
No, I think, what really makes my relationships great is that they are who they are all the time. And I think we've really gotten into a groove of accepting, this is who you are. And I think one thing that all of my friends have in common are that they're passionate. They accept me. I can be a lot and I can be a little.
Oh,
So
man.
oh damn. Well, shit.
It's all good.
I can be a whole lot, or I can have those reserved moments too. So I think really them allowing me to have that and still not being sensitive about that, I think that's something we've all had to work on. There's definitely been conversations we've had to have, like, I'm putting this in and I feel like you not putting nothing in. That's not to say that those things don't happen, but what I'm saying also happens is that conversation.
Right.
And to me that's important because and it may be because I've seen these relationships growing up, that friends are a vital part of your life. For me.
Okay.
It's not in defining my experience as a human. My friends play a major role in that, and that's just how my life is set up.
Okay.
If I need something, if I need feedback, if I need them to promote something, my friends are always there for that.
You've been blessed.
But
Right.
but it's a blessing. It's a blessing because I've had to do the work. Like it's work. Friendships aren't.
Sounds like a
friendships
relationship.
Are work. They are relationships.
Yeah, because when you.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying when you said I'm a lot of work and they deal with me through that. I'm thinking like. That sound like a man. I'm in to that.
I don't know.
But to me,
I need
that's
one-
gonna put up with all of this.
Right.
But to me, I should be able to show up and be all of me. That part of that part of me, y'all don't really get. I know I get on my friends' nerves, especially when I be trying to I don't know exactly. You'll have to ask them for the details. But one thing that I try to make sure is that I treat my friends as the friends they are. My one best friend, she'll respond one way. My other best friend will respond another. So I've learned to understand who they are,
Right.
and not ask for them to give me something that's not them.
Right. That makes sense.
Because I think the part is I've tried to figure out how to fulfill myself the best I can with myself.
Do your best friends get along? Do they know that they're both your best friends?
Yeah.
All of
There's
your
no
best friends?
competition.
There ain't no
'cause,
competition.
I would be like, no, that's my best. I'm very, very territorial. You can't be everybody's
Yeah,
best friend. You got to pick a side. Okay.
But they I mean, I can show y'all. We go to the pool when they get both. When she comes out here, we all go to the pool. Probably like we kick. Do I feel like they host conversations outside of me about like, oh, let's have a best friend circle? No, I don't think so. But I know like when it comes down to me getting married or doing whatever, like they gonna show up.
That's so.
It's interesting. We have
They
so
gonna
many
show up.
different. You're so like involved. I'm a little detached.
I got to the point where I had no friends. I reached out to Atian. I don't know if you remember, like years ago, when I was like, "Girl, I'm going through something. I'm like not about to be in a marriage no more.
No.
I need to move. Give me some
Yeah, I
properties."
remember.
Like, and I know she was probably looking at her phone like, "What the?"
No, I wasn't.
Me? Like, why is she reaching out to me? Like, that's how slim my pickings
Well,
were.
I didn't look at it like
No.
that.
And not to say it like that, but you know, we didn't really speak like
Right.
that for me to open up to you and just be like, well, I need, you know, I'm going through this.
I think everybody doesn't need like a bunch of friends. Like I would say, I have high quality friends. I'm not a person like I just need to know a whole bunch of people.
Right.
I just need to be all in their face. I need the friends for that purpose. But I do know that my friends keep me balanced.
Right.
When I'm a very like, especially when it comes to me being in a developing relationship, like they are the reason why I have a boyfriend, because I would dismiss a lot of like I have tendencies to be like, okay, bye. But they're the ones like, okay, because they've taken the time to know me, they can say, all right, I know you feeling this way, but think about it from this perspective. And that's not like just my best friend, like my friend circle, my sister circle, like they all provide different things to that conversation that makes me like, okay, let me think about this. We're all very different. That's not the thing, is like we have to be the same either. But I think, the challenge really is to that I would say we should all be walking away from, is to think about like your sister circle, your friendship circle. Ask yourself, does it matter for you to have friends? Is that something that's important for you? And ask them for that feedback, those people you are close with, because our message today was essentially, what type of friend am I to you? Describe our relationship, or describe our friendship, fluff and tough, like, so including the strengths and opportunities, because I need to know that. And maybe I'm missing something. Like, I just went through a lot in my life. I started a new job, I got a new boyfriend, got a new car, so a lot was going on in my life that I may have been off my square when it comes to my friendships.
Right.
But they have been gracious, and they have been friends enough for me to go through that space. But I need to do check-ins. I try to do it once a quarter. Check in with my friends. How you doing? I'm analytical, so it may sound very business, but my friends are my business. And,
right.
Like that's
just checking in.
they have that priority. Just checking up. Quarterly check-in. Okay.
How's
You
it
got to
going?
make sure you're healthy. All right. Make sure you're healthy.
No. Certainly.
So I guess we'll go ahead and leave you with that challenge. Is in the next week, text your friends, call your friends. Maybe somebody you haven't talked to. Maybe somebody you fell out with, and maybe just touch base on what happened. What was going on?
I'm the queen of...
Where were you in that space? I'll tell you, we need to challenge her to that.
I haven't talked to you in 6 months. How you doing?
Hey, stranger.
I'm a little... Yeah, right.
Ooh, not the hey stranger.
I'm the hey stranger texter.
Hey,
I'll
big
be
one.
like,
But yeah,
all
we'd
right.
love to see, get your responses. Again, add us at 3 Queens and Things on Instagram. Our email, our SoundCloud link will also be there for you to check out our upcoming episodes. But again, that's the challenge. Connect with your friends and ask them, reflect on your friendship. Reflect on, what type of friend you are to yourself, and also ask for their feedback.
Thank you for tuning in to 3 Queens and Things. Stay tuned for our next episode. We are your hosts. I'm Ati.
I'm Mimi.
And I'm Sola.